Okay, we're not going to talk about Blue Story?
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My mistake. Le Mans is at number 4.
Yeah.
Blue Story is at number 3. My apologies.
Okay, so Blue Story came out last week, and you will have read all the reports that the allegations of disturbances in cinemas, and then it being pulled by a cinema chain, and then the cinema sort of pretty quickly being accused of racism for doing that, and then the cinema chain changing their minds, and now it appears to be back in cinemas. So I saw the film last week before any of this stuff broke. I mean, my own feeling was it wasn't for me and I wasn't crazy about it. But the one thing I did think was that there is no suggestion, I don't think there's any suggestion by anybody, that the film is anything other than a condemnation of violence. And particularly, I mean, it's a very sort of straightforward, well-known story. Two people who know each other, grow up together, and then are torn apart by the postcode of where they live, and therefore rival gangs become involved, and they are set against each other. And for me, I found the film a little bit on the nose, but it already had. The director Ratman had this huge success on YouTube, and I'm very, very aware that the film is not aimed at me. And my surprise at what happened was astonishing, because the film is very clear. The film is absolutely a film which says violence is a bad thing, and clearly it's appealing to a very, very widespread audience, and it absolutely is very clear in its message. Its message is violence is a bad thing, and it needs something that needs to be dealt with.
Dave McMillan, I saw this film last Friday morning. I found it quite affecting. There were audible gasps and at appropriate times sobs from members of the audience I watched it with, and I thought it did a good job of highlighting the issues that boroughs of London are up against that may not be fully understood around the rest of the country. This is not a story of gangland violence that headlines may have led you to believe this week. Instead, it is a story of how even the most innocent and good kids may be dragged into a world they are desperate to escape.
Yeah, I think exactly so.